Yeah. You have the chairs. You can help me. Managing is an art. Your job of a manager is the toughest job. Okay. Yes, Jose.
Can you tell us what exactly we have the media reports?
I am only drawn to the attention of what has been carried by media. And some of them have called me also. I have responded to a few of them. We have always said that there are certain issues which require to be resolved. In other words, certain allergens which need to be addressed and resolved within the party. But you have to also understand our approach of doing things when it comes to resolving issues pertaining to internal matters of the party is concerned. Obviously, nothing can be always within the four walls. That's why I think some news is coming. The fact is that when we have the intent to resolve and there is a solution, that will automatically give you an idea that okay, things have been resolved. We're waiting for the things to be resolved in as far as the issues are concerned. And I have had the privilege to go to Delhi. Subsequently, I have returned. And they have indicated that, okay, we'll have to sit again. And today I have also received the indication as to when the sitting can be likely. And therefore, tomorrow we have the Pradesh Election Committee meeting. As you're aware, there are 3 by-elections. The unfortunate vacancy which arose because of the sad demise of our friends. 2 of the constituencies were represented by all members of CLP, our member who was elected from Mountmeng and Rajabala. So tomorrow after this, Sunday is the likely day when I should travel. We will try to resolve it. I have always maintained that I should not be a victim of pessimism. Okay. But the challenges are there always. Resolving issues require a certain amount of patience. I hope all those factors which require to ultimately arriving at finding a resolution or solution becomes possible. Then it will end within the 4 walls of the party. And even after a good solution is there, also you will be in a position to know and share the good. But there are grievances within the party. In fact, some of them are already a victim of those grievances. You have seen one of our senior members leaving the party and becoming a candidate of NPP. So these are indications. These are just the tip of iceberg. Therefore, we want to resolve them at the appropriate time, meaning well ahead of the election. We can't allow these kind of internal problems which are there, which we would like to resolve within the 4 walls. That's why I'm not sharing with you. If you would be asking what are those problems, you will not get anything from. So this is how we are moving.
But was it not too early to approach any political parties to break Congress and meet Speaker?
See, I have always said that there has been attempts to influence our MLS by many political parties. We are trying to insulate our MLS. We have been successfully capable of doing that, unlike other states where members from various political parties have become victim of poaching. Here also, unfortunately, yes, there was, but then after that, we have been able to insulate our colleagues in the CLP. And I think that is something which has been uh, considered as the most difficult job for us.
Doctor, although no one is coming up in the open and speaking it, but yes, without wishing to be named, they have told us many of them that there was an attempt to get MLAs maybe to your site or something, but through a signature campaigns and so. Is there any truth to it?
See, internal party affairs do require patient hearing to all our concern. I have to listen to my MLAs. What are their concerns? What are their apprehensions? It is not my personal problem. Okay, let us be very clear. So when we are talking about internal problems, that means the problem revolves around the people in the party, the rank and file in the party. Okay. If you follow properly in every respective districts and what is happening, what is the apprehension, then you will probably be able to understand that. But then it is not appropriate for me to actually, since we have maintained that internal differences, whatever the cases may be, the best way to resolve them is within the four walls, and then we will try our best. And since uh, there is a various mechanism how the leadership is reaching out, I think we have reasons to be free from and not to be the victim of pessimism. That is what I say.
So earlier you also mentioned that it is speculation about you dealing with other animals. So why do you think this is coming up? So what could be the reasons? Could be applying to any.
So this speculation, you have carried these news long ago also, earlier also. 2018, 2019, 2020, it goes on. Though the stories are, formatted in a different style. But then I believe you have been seeing many of our friends from media carrying these stories. The number 13, the number 13, I think that story has always been doing the rounds. But the fact is that we have been able to insulate our team from at least that kind of poaching, which was resorted to, which is continuous, which can probably continue until we face the 2023 election. Now you are seeing a sudden shifting of somebody from the party when the elections are notified. You are seeing that. So until elections are faced and until we really fight the next election, we won't know what are those ultimate fallout of anything that we don't resolve during as we prepare for the 2023 elections. You have seen that one of our senior most member of the district council, KHDC, has left the party, become a candidate of other political parties. So we didn't expect this to happen, isn't it? But there was reasons for that, and that's why you see what is happening. Therefore, it is incumbent upon us to see that, okay, when we want to strengthen the party, we don't end up with this too many surprises as we come closer and closer to election. You have seen also in 2018 how many friends who indicated that they'll be with us ultimately ditched us, left us, and they also became a victim of their own betrayal. Many lost. So therefore, many won. This is what ultimately is usual dynamics of politics when issues are not resolved on time. Therefore, we want to see that things are resolved on time. We have to be abundantly clear that we want the issues to be resolved. There is no, kids' globe that is going to work.
Doctor, these issues are not resolved in the right direction. Can we say that Dr. Mukul, all these colleagues are going to lead forward?
It will be premature. It'll be premature there because I've said I shouldn't be a victim of a sense of pessimism.
So what do we have to see on those media reports that say that Dr. Mukul are going to lead forward?
See, that's why I see you don't have anybody who is telling a concrete story, but then that whole narrative is generated. You have to wait for a time. If it is coming from the horse's mouth, then give credibility. Okay, it's a question of giving weightage to a news when it comes from the right source. Okay, when it comes from the horse's mouth, then you give weightage.
Further, concerning BCC president policy and handing over the charge to a senior MLA, is it a solution to resolve the crisis?
Now, friends, I have to request you to bear with me because what will be the likely options available for resolution will obviously be put on the table during the course of discussion. That is how we evolve the mechanism to resolve any issue. So it need not be just one particular possible option. There can be multiple options, and this is not something which is obviously going to be discussed outside of four walls, and then we'll leave it to that forum where it will be discussed.
So you'll be meeting the ACC will mediate the meeting right now.
There's a mechanism we have. Yeah.
What is it like?
I'll be traveling on Sunday, so
So if I understood it correctly, so there is a possibility my doesn't work.
see, I have responded to other friends the similar question. Uh, that particular presumption assumption is too premature. Okay, too premature. And that will be indicative of my being pessimist. So I have said that I don't have reason to be a victim of pessimism. So yeah, we have overcome lots of challenges in the past. I'm saying, rather than saying that I'm optimist, I'm saying I will not be a victim of pessimism. Okay, for today.
So one more thing, like for the by-elections, we've seen the 5 months back when election budget announced that the by-elections in Oregon. We've seen that many Congress leaders, including Himasha and others, went to Oregon and even along with many other leaders of Congress, they have projected by Highlander as their candidate. But now we're seeing that they're saying that tomorrow we'll have another
PEC,
meeting
PEC, Pradesh Election Committee.
to, to choose a candidate. So why is this? Is it because
See, it is not only one. No. We don't have only one constituency for the by-election. We have three constituencies. Okay. Morankane, Oplam, and Rajawala. So therefore, obviously, what incident happened in Rajawala was after that, and subsequent to that, the vacancy that fell in Oplam was just during the last autumn session. Therefore, PEC will not necessarily sit only for one particular constituency to decide upon the candidate based on the inputs. Ideally, what is done during by-election is that PEC sits and send it to your AICC for the approval of the Honorable Congress President. Normally, what we do is that the applications are scrutinized at district level, at the Pradesh Congress Committee level, then brought to the PEC, Pradesh Election Committee. Then it goes to AICC, then it is again scrutinized at Central Election Committee, and that is how the whole process is. But since this is a by-election, PEC will see. That is the procedure that we have always adopted. And after that, we seek the approval of the Honorable Congress President, then the candidate will be officially declared.
this form also part of the new also
Cease candidate, you mean?
she also vying for party ticket.
See, I honestly don't know. Honestly, I don't know what applicants yet to know. The only privilege that I will have is when I attend PEC, I will have the privilege of knowing who are the prospective candidates. That until then, I'm blank.
But you will be meeting, you will be attending.
Yeah, I will attend because it is PEC, it is for an election. So these are the seats which are represented by Congress, meaning it was considered as a Congress stronghold. So party stronghold. So I will know tomorrow who are the candidates, who are the aspiring candidates, who are the candidates who are being tabled for consideration by the PEC. See, PEC will scrutinize subsequent finalization is only after the approval of the Honorable Congress.
Just to because last time you've seen that people were dancing, Anthony also was dancing with public there, monitoring with Highlander speaking. So it's like officially like Highlander will be the candidate from monitoring.
See, see, it is not an individual decision. Dr. Mukul is only a member of the PEC, obviously. Being CLP leader, I have various inputs. Okay, I have the inputs pertaining to local services. I'll share the inputs. I'll share inputs based on which.
Just one last question. What is your overall take on Congress? You've seen in Meghalaya, you've seen in Punjab, you've seen their voice their concern regarding Rahul Gandhi and
See, if I have to look at from my perspective,
also has voiced concern.
let me say what others say. I don't care. Okay, but whatever is something which relates to the internal matters of the party should be articulated, discussed, delivered. That's why you're not seeing here. Okay, we don't want to be like Punjab. Okay, yeah. What you see in Punjab would have happened if they would have adopted the same approach like us. So it is simple. That's why I always say it depends on people also. People have different way of dealing with issues and different way of doing things. So I have always shared that okay, there may be a problem in a family. You don't world know what's the problem. Similarly, in a party, yes, there are problems. I'm saying there are lots of problems. Obviously, there will be that there is endeavor, collective endeavor, and it must be. It can't be one way. It has to be, it has to mutual. That probably shouldn't have been the way it is. With no intent to offend anybody. Okay.
Okay. If you would want to react, because the SPP has been taking shots after shots after the differences cropped up in the Congress. SPP president recently went on to say that Dr. Mukul is not leaving the Congress because he doesn't have an option to either open a new party or join other. He doesn't have the luxury of PSMI. That's what.
See, I don't consult the president of NPP or Dr. Karluki. Dr. Karluki, I know Dr. Karluki, he's a gentleman, okay. So I have no comment on that, okay. I have a high respect for him as a person and put it there. It doesn't go beyond that. Why don't you ask Dr.